Hello everyone, my name is SiC. Welcome back to Ground Branch. Today we're going to take a look at two new upcoming maps. The one I'm standing in right now is called City. I don't know if that's the name it's going to keep, but this is my first ever look at it. I just loaded it up and already I'm just looking around, looking at the buildings, the reflection on the glass right there, the tree here. And it's kind of blowing my mind. This is something that is completely new to Ground Branch. I have never seen a map exactly like this. Up until now, every map, except for the oil rig, has basically included natural elements. Trees, forests, bushes, whatever. This one is just a city. Like, we have a little square here. It's not a park area, it's a square. But vegetation here is kept to a bare minimum, it seems, and that is really interesting because, well, yeah, the oil rig, you know, its only natural element was the sea, but it's very different compared to this. The oil rig has very narrow lanes of approach. You know, you have all the little, you know, you have the sides of the ship, you have the main deck, which is a little bit more open, but it is nothing compared to this. I don't know how big this map is exactly, but I'm just looking around this square, man, and I'm impressed. This looks really cool. You can tell it's an American city because the roads are super wide. Or at least, if it's not an American city, it is at least a more modern city than Europe. Because in Europe, pretty much all the big cities have small roads and things like that, because they were not designed for cars and other kinds of traffic. The city I live in, and another city that is close by called Groningen. Groningen is the worst. Alright, if you're driving a car in Groningen, I pity you, like I pity myself every time I drive into that city, because it is horrendous. Right? It barely fits two bicycle riders side by side, and there I am with my car going through the city center sometimes to visit my girlfriend, and it is the worst. Anyway. Very off topic. I'm just going to have a quick run around. Like I said, I have not explored this map yet, and this does still seem to be work in progress. I think this is missing some textures. Definitely it's missing a light right there. And of course this map is not on the regular build right now. I am playing the development test build. And that means this map is not finished. But we have two new maps. This one is not finished yet. The other one that is added, I have not fully explored either, I have to be honest, but it is playable in Terrorist Hunt, which suggests to me that it is much closer to being finished. Now, the outside areas of this look really good. This looks very finished. But of course, as soon as we step inside this building, there is an obvious area that is not quite finished. It seems we have a problem with a tree right here. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Something with the LOD, the LOD or whatever. Probably, I'm not sure. I don't have any technical knowledge when it comes to the Unreal Engine and what's going on here exactly. But yeah, I think this is a placeholder as well. But man, I have to say I'm impressed by the visuals of this city already. Like, as soon as this is a little bit different, I guess, or maybe it's not going to be different. Maybe this is just like the design of a modern building or something. I don't know. Probably this is going to change, but I really like the skyscrapers all around us and like the sunlight glaring off of these. And I think I saw the entrance to a metro station as well. So I'm going to take a run over there, and of course I do have a gun. I wonder if you can go inside. We probably can. Yes, we can. This is going to be awesome. Like, the reflections on this, it's very lifelike. This is really cool. I'm very excited for Ground Branch to have more maps. So having the ability to look at two new upcoming maps is fantastic. Now, one of the maps that got added earlier, of course, was a boxed version, like a started version that is kind of like boxed in but not as complete as this map is at the moment, was the oil rig, right? And I kind of expected the oil rig to be finished before seeing any other new maps, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Like, I don't mind. I love the idea of the oil rig. I also really like the idea of having a modern city to fight in, as well as the metro station. Like, this is pretty cool. Like, the metro itself is a little bit too shiny, maybe. There's something weird going on here. And I wonder if this probably ends up in a dead end. And now that I'm down here, we are probably not going to be able to... Yeah, so this is a dead end. Can we jump back up? Nope. Doesn't seem like it. Right, so that is going to be an issue until vaulting becomes a thing. If it ever does become a thing, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to reload the map. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. And let's have a look, because I'm curious. This is a non-interactive door. This one seems to be non-interactive as well, but it's open, so it does provide us a passage. Sorry. I'm curious though about the layout. Like, I'm pretty sure we don't have an in-game map yet. But I'm curious about the exact size of this. Like, if it involves a square and if all the roads adding or leading up to this square are blocked off, which they probably are, to be fair, then it suggests to me that we will have a lot of sniping to do out here in the open area, and then we have some CQB down below in the metro station, which is an interesting combination. And you could do, like, if this were a police game, you could do some interesting things here as well. Like, well, I don't know if you've ever watched the series called Flashpoint, but it is fantastic. It's about like a Canadian SWAT team, and they employ a little bit more psychology to their interactions with suspects and things. And I'm sure, you know, they're not pure tactical. They are also just trying to get into the heads of the suspects, talking to them, trying to, you know, make them stand down and things like that. So there's hostage negotiation, things like that going on. But the first episode of the first season has like a sniper up on one of these buildings, and there's like a guy in the square holding a woman hostage at gunpoint, and they're trying to de-escalate the situation. And that is what this map immediately reminds me of. Like, this makes me want to have a video game version of Flashpoint. That would be fucking awesome. And that's something we've never really seen before. Except maybe in, like, one of the latest Deus Ex games, or Deus Ex games. Not Human Revolution, I think, but the one before that. Or maybe Human Revolution was that. I don't know, I forgot the names, because they're kind of generic, but you had a hostage situation at the beginning of that game as well. If you took too long, things took a turn for the worse, but you had some kind of influence on how that hostage situation turned out, which is something I kind of would love to see in a tactical shooter concerning the police, right? Where it's not just about shooting, but it's also about psychology a little bit, where you can influence the state of mind of a suspect and talk them down, maybe, instead of just going in guns blazing with flashbangs and M4s. That is, I don't know how you would do it. I'm not a game designer, but that's an idea I've had for a very long time that I would love to see come to fruition at some point. It's just like a tactical shooter, like Ground Branch, like SWAT 4, or the upcoming Ready or Not, combined with hostage negotiation. And preferably in a dynamic manner, not just like having the negotiation at the beginning of a mission, but it's going on while the mission is playing. Maybe a suspect sees you, he's running away, and like you corner him, and the fact that he's cornered makes him willing to negotiate or something like that. Like, it will be a dynamic thing rather than a set piece. Anyway, I'm rambling. I've stopped talking about Ground Branch and my ideas for future games and what might be possible or might not be possible. But I think we've had a pretty good look around the city, and it is time to move into the 747 map, which does support terrorist hunt. So I'm eager to get some shooting done. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so we're in the 747 map, which, as you might guess, actually features the 747, but also has the surrounding area. So we can start off in the hills, or we can start at the main gate, which of course has a main building that we need to clear out. There are roughly 25 tangos on this map, because that's how I loaded it in. This says 0, but we're going to change that, I guess. And I really do love that we have this feature in the game right now, that we can, you know, adjust the resistance on the fly, the level at which they are trained. Now, let's say they are untrained because I'm alone, and they are 25 against 1, so I don't think that is cheating or anything. This is mainly just to showcase the map a little bit. So I'm thinking we're going to start at the main gate. And heads up, I have played this map a little bit before because I was eager to get my hands on a new terrorist hunt map. Now the weapon I've given myself is a silenced MP5 with a red dot scope on it, because we are in very close quarters, at least inside of the airplane. And having a loud gun attracts a lot of attention, which I really don't want to deal with all by myself. So yeah, a silenced MP5 it is. Also because the 747 most definitely gives me the Rainbow Six vibes, right? Because there's a 747 map in Rogue Spear. And one of the best weapons inside of Rainbow Six Rogue Spear, like the original Rainbow Six games, has always been the silenced MP5, because they're accurate, they're almost completely silent, and that game really doesn't really give you a reason not to use a silenced weapon. Alright, so we have a lot of Tango groups out on the tarmac. Little groups of 2 all over the place. One of these guys noticed a dead body and has started to run for cover, which is unfortunate. Oh. I guess that was his buddy. I noticed some contacts over to the left-hand side as well. Oh. Oh yeah, we've got people running in the back as well. We've got a lot of people outside, which is kind of unexpected, to be honest. Like, I would have expected, if this was a hostage situation, that most of the bad guys are going to be inside of the plane with probably just like a couple of people outside, just to guard the perimeter. But most of these guys, I would expect to be out of line of sight and guarding the hostages, right? Of course, having all of those people super close by would make actually clearing that objective a lot harder. Oh, come on. Alright, so this obviously is a test build, and bugs can be expected, like this guy not going for his weapon. Seems like an obvious bug. Oh, crap. Yeah, we need cover. Somebody did decide to return fire. I'm guessing that guy way over there. But it's interesting, because we had a 3-man patrol on the left-hand side. And they did nothing. Meanwhile, though, another guy over here, who did go into combat-ready status, did fire back at us. But yeah. Alright, so I'm not going to go for long-range engagements with the MP5. I'm just going to try to close the distance a little bit and hope that I can survive closing in to the 747. Which has a really interesting name. It's Ram Airways. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but there's a guy in the community called Ramjet, and this, I feel, is probably named after him. And then we have Scope Patrol, which is a reference to the tanker ship, which is also something that belongs to Scope Patrol. So I like that. That's good. Now, of course, we do have the hostiles calling out contacts and things like that. Like, they introduced that a patch before this, which is something I really like, but now something that sticks out even more to me, and which is something that I hope they will add soon, if it's not too much work, is death screams. Right, I'm a sucker for death screams. Some of you that have followed my channel for a while, you will know that I have made a death scream mod for Arma 3. They're quite long and hopefully gruesome, and have a humanizing effect on the enemy. That is something I basically want in every FPS now. Alright, I'm kind of curious. This guy is not going for his weapon. That is something that needs to be fixed. Oh, and we have tangos inside the 747 as well. Of course, we have tangos on the outskirts. They're taking cover outside. Maybe I can snipe one of them there, because I can see someone is taking cover. And he's down. There should be another guy left over here, but I'm kind of concerned about having tangos closer by my... Oh crap! Yeah! That's exactly what I was concerned about. Oh, hello. Yeah, death screams would be lovely. They can be short, they don't have to be gruesome like a Red Orchestra 2 or hopefully like my mod. But that is something I actually would really love for this game as well. I kind of like having a separate entrance here as well, because this is almost exactly like the 747 map from Rogue Spear. You have two entrances there as well. Of the layout on the tarmac is a little bit different. Quite a bit different actually. But the plane itself has, you know, of course, obviously a lot more detail here, but it does have the two entrances that that other map has as well, which is, well, honestly something that's really good and probably even necessary, because having just one entrance to the plane doesn't really make for interesting options tactically when entering and clearing this place. Alright, let's turn on the lights here. It's kind of dark. Alright, let's put our weapon up in high ready. But yeah, some death screams really would be lovely, because these guys are having their, you know, combat yells and things like that already. And it would just be something that really finishes off that feeling. I know this is all work in progress. That we have Ram. If you look at the bottom right, you had Ram popping up as he boots up Ground Branch. I'm not sure if you can see that in the video. You probably will. I have a feeling this airliner company is named after him. Now we get to the really interesting and hard part, which is clearing out this area of hostiles. Now this is something we have done before, or we were able to do in one of the training maps. We had a training 747 with pop-up targets and things like that, which you could practice in by yourself or with teammates. But this, of course, is the real deal. We don't have hostages quite yet, but clearing out hostiles in between the seats is now, like actual hostiles, is now a thing in Ground Branch, which is awesome, because this is one of the most challenging kind of maps that you can have, right? And this really requires teammates. Like this area alone, we could have tangos coming down in between the benches going this way, where I'm not, and they could move around without me noticing as I'm going along the right hand side. So having a team or teammates attacking this ship from multiple angles, or just covering this side of the airliner, would be a lot better than clearing it out by yourself.
Stand by.
Ha! Alright, interesting. We have a lot of people. Oh, hello. Wow. That was super deadly. Oh my god. Interesting. Yeah, it's safe to say that these guys need some better response times. Maybe this is because I'm playing on untrained difficulty, of course, like that is something we should take into consideration. Mostly this video is just for showcasing what this map is all about, and it seems we have cleared out the entire airplane by now, because we ended up at the storage area again. Now I remember There was a tango over in that direction. He might not be there anymore, so we do need to check all areas. But yeah, this is really cool. We can have, if this is turning into another hostage situation in the full version, that would be super difficult to deal with, I think. I don't know how aggressive the tangos are going to be when it comes to executing their hostages. But that is like a typical scenario, and I don't know where I've seen it or heard it. But I seem to remember someone saying that taking down a hostage situation or dealing with a hostage negotiation inside of an airplane almost inevitably leads to casualties. Either on the terrorist side, on the hostile, the hostile side basically, or civilians that have been taken hostage, or the people trying to liberate the plane, because it is a mess. There's a ton of, not necessarily cover maybe, because I'm pretty sure a bullet will rip straight through the seats of an airplane. But there's a lot of places to hide, a lot of angles to cover. If you're not completely lined up and synced up as a team, trying to clear that plane, I have a feeling that will go wrong very, very quickly. Right, so we have 2 tangos left here somewhere, and I have a feeling they might be... Alright, so this seems to be the end of the map. But I have a feeling they're going to be on this end of the map somewhere. Probably. And again, I played against untrained AI because I just wanted to show the map off a little bit, and probably they're going to pull out their weapons a lot faster when coming under fire when playing on a higher difficulty setting. Or maybe it's just a bug that is still in the early test build. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure that is going to improve by either playing on a higher difficulty or at some point with a future patch to the test build, and we can see... Oh, yeah, getting close now. Alright, they're on the other side of this fence here. There seems to be one though, so there should be one left. So this is the guy... Oh, 2 guys left. This is the guy that lost his teammate earlier, and that we lost line of sight to. And then there's going to be 2 guys left. Maybe on this flank, because that is something we haven't really cleared out yet. Maybe this building is enterable as well. They might be inside of the building. Or they might be on the other side of the building. Who knows? We're just going to try to find them, and that will be the end of the video there. Because, again, this is mostly just to show off the 2 new maps. Or the 2 maps that are upcoming. I have a feeling this... Yes. Placeholder. That's pretty funny. It's pretty light in here though, so we don't need a flashlight. And it doesn't seem like anyone is inside. Or maybe it's a moving patrol that I've missed somewhere. Right, so this is the 3-man squad that we took out earlier. These guys never even took out their weapons from their chests. Oh well, I guess we could keep hunting this other squad. for a while. I found one. Okay, so I was going to say let's put a cut in here because I might be chasing these guys for a while, but then I saw this guy moving around and his body has got to be close. Well, let's just do a reload because we're not going to have to preserve our ammo anymore, knowing that there's just one guy out there. Oh, don't tell me you're going to get me at the end. That would be very unfortunate. Oh, god damn it. He did. Really? The last fucking guy. Oh god. Anyway. Oh, that is awkward. Anyway, that's it for this video. Please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.